11 and welcome to Talking Good Games match preview. West Ham United against Viborg. The playoffs for the Europa Conference League is the final round before the group stages. So should West Ham United win across both ties on Thursday and next week, we're into the group stage of the European competition. Gonzo, normally I ask for your thoughts on our opposition. Do you have any thoughts on our opposition?
Many thoughts on our opposition, Geo. I don't know why you just didn't do it au naturel as we normally do. Viborg, what a excellent football team. Look, there's many things you can say about Viborg. Firstly, is they beat Silkeborg, which is not to be dismissed. We know all about Silkeborg. Really good squad. They've got some excellent players. Geo, Viborg.
Name two.
Pardon?
I
will name two. Okay. Well, they've got one guy called Groening, which should fit really well with the last week at West Ham, because there's been a lot of that going on. They've also got someone called Berger, who sounds a really tasty player, apparently. And when I was just looking through, thank you, when I was looking through their list and on Google, and it had their players, one of them's got a Barcelona shirt on. Mortimer, which I'm worried about. Now, I don't know if he plays for Barcelona, he's on loan from Barcelona, or he just went into the club shop. In fact, I'm not even sure he went to the club shop and bought a Barcelona shirt. Looks like one of them dodgy ones that you order from China for 15 quid. Anyway, if he is a legitimate Barcelona player, then we're in serious trouble. That's what I know about Viborg.
Anyway, I know naffle about them. I don't mind admitting that. They're fifth in their league at the minute. They're 5 games into their domestic season, so fitness, they may be a little bit ahead of West Ham at this point. 3 wins and 2 losses from their 5 games so far. This will be their 5th qualifier for the competition, winning all 4 qualifiers thus far against a Lithuanian team and a team from, of course, from the Faroe Islands, who West Ham may have drew should they eliminated Viborg. So anyway, shall we leave it there from the Danish side? I think that's enough. That's all we can. But what
I see the Lithuanian side. You know what they were called, don't you? B36. I'm serious. Honestly.
Are you sure that was not the first shaving side from Faroe Islands?
Look, it was B36, which, funny enough, when I'm down the road and I go to the vending machine, that is exactly the number I type in for a Milky Way.
Happy days. But you can't take what you see on the squad's pages on these teams' websites very seriously. I'll tell you why. Because I went onto the West Ham website just before recording to grab a few birth dates of certain youngsters. I'll explain why later on in the video. And Elise is still on there. So according to West Ham's website, Agi Elise still plays for our development squad. So there you go. You can't take everything you read as too serious on that one. So anyway, maybe they've just got a big Barcelona fan in their ranks. Right, enough about the Danish side. Now about the competition itself, Gonzo. The Europa Conference League, obviously not as prestigious as of the Europa League. What's your thoughts on this competition?
I'm pleased to be in it. I really am. I was ashamed to miss out on the Europa League, particularly as we got it down to that last game, and was disappointed what happened against Brighton, particularly. Bearing in mind, Palace beat Man United, which is what we needed. That being said, I think the competition, I was going to say I think the competition owes an awful lot to Jose Mourinho, actually. I think, you can look back now and European football, because I think Roma looked like a good team this season. They bought some good players on the back of that. So Tammy Abraham played really well last season. So I think they brought Dybala in, who's a really, sort of impressive and a player with a global reputation. He's got a spring in his step, Mourinho, I think, because of that. So I think actually he's been really good for the competition, and the competition's been good for him. He's puffing his chest out in Serie A now, telling everybody what they're going to do. And I think that's really good, because I actually do think if a sort of cheeky, bouncy Jose Mourinho is probably good for football. And it just goes to show what can be done here. So I think Leicester, I know Leicester are a bit of a laughing stock this season, but Leicester getting as far as they did was really good for it. And the competition needed that after what Tottenham did, because they sort of made it a little bit of a laughing stock, Tottenham last season. And I think because of that, it's got more kudos, it's got more prestige now, and people think, well, if Roma are going for it, why don't we go for it? I really do. I think they've validated it. Look, it's not the Champions League, we get that, but I think they've validated it as a legitimate trophy that you'd want to win.
Yeah, I think that's a very fair point about Roma. Actually, I've been using it as an sort of an advocate for this competition, as a fan of this competition. When people have sort of dismissed it and said, "Oh, it's rubbish, two bob competition." My comeback is now, well, it's good enough for Mourinho. I'm pretty sure it's good enough for everybody else in football. You take a look at that man's CV, at what he's won. He's won everything, and if he takes this seriously, then I think the rest of us should sit up and take notice to some extent. And you look at the clubs that did take it seriously last season. PSV were in there, Feyenoord were in there as well, Leicester, like you said, they all took it seriously as well. This season we've got Villarreal in the group stages, who were Champions League finalists.
Yeah.
Just a couple of seasons ago, they now dropped down into this competition. So there is some big European hitters in this one, and I think it's a realistic competition for us to win. Is it as prestigious as the Europa League? No, but I'm adamant for the time being, this is our best route back into the Europa League for next season. Obviously, you win the trophy as well, which would be good, but the following season, you're in European football again. And I think it would really, at the minute, we are struggling to lure one or two players to West Ham in the summer transfer window. We know who they are. We discussed them in other videos. But let's just throw out a couple of names there, like Amadou Onana, Mateus Nunes in the last few days. Now, they might be going elsewhere because of money. They might be choosing other clubs for super agents, whatever. The fact of the matter is we have targeted these players and they've said no to West Ham United. And if we want to start pooling those players, and the one thing that's going to increase the stature of the club is by winning a European trophy, that will firmly put West Ham on the footballing map and say, come and play here. We take European football seriously. We want to win trophies here. We're in a club on the right arc of a trajectory. Come to West Ham and play for David Moyes' team at London Stadium. And I think the Europa League, I felt, did West Ham's profile the world of good. But then you look at the transfer window, and Scamacca and Aguero would suggest it has. But then, like I said, failing to attract others would suggest it perhaps hasn't done as well as I hoped it would have done for us. But this competition gives us another chance to just really ramp up the profile among football for West Ham United. So I'm all for it. I've never sort of dismissed it. And I think it's quite a good competition for the clubs, like our opponents, actually, who play in countries of lesser UEFA coefficient, to give them a chance of going on and do something. It's a bit like introducing the Nations League to international football. It's good for the countries who are usually just getting eliminated pretty quickly and don't really have a hope or a chance. This gives some of those clubs a little bit of a glimmer where actually they can compete in the group stages at least. I think it's good, the Europa Conference League. Has the Europa League changed your opinion on this competition? Because you were, for those that are new to the channel, Gonzo's never been the biggest fan of the Europa League until we were in it, and then he sort of got sucked up with all the fun and the joy and stuff. And I think, without wanting to put too much words in your mouth, 18 months ago when this tournament was sort of put out there, I think you would have probably looked at it and thought, oh, what a waste of time. I'd rather not be in that, thank you. A, is that true? And B, is the Europa League campaign change your opinion on it?
Yeah, I don't mind you putting words in my mouth if they're the right words. I would have thought that. You're quite right.
Or a Milky Way if I push B34.
Yeah, absolutely. There we go. I didn't have one today. I'm hungry, so let's not talk about food. I would have done. I think my issue before was I didn't think we had the squad for it. I know. If everyone can laugh, you chuckle away. I didn't think we had the squad for it. I didn't think we'd manage it. And I didn't think David Moyes would take it seriously. And the other thing that I really worried about, I thought it would massively be to the detriment of our league form. Now, I know some people will say, well, hold on, we finished sixth, then we finished seventh. It did. I'm not talking about that. I was worried it would put us down, like in the bottom 5 clubs, we'd go from there to there. And it didn't. We pretty much managed to maintain our league form for the previous season and have a go in Europe. And he carried on tried to have a pop in the cups as well. So I didn't think he would do that. I hadn't seen anything in his managerial CV prior to that. Remove Man United from it. He was managing a super club there. But in terms of what we'd seen before at Everton, that wasn't part of his thing to go for cups, really. So yeah, it did. At the moment we started to take it seriously, I thought, okay, this is great. For too many years, apart from when we had Pardew said, you know what, I'm actually going for this cup. For too many years we've had a succession of managers who have just said the Premier League, it's all about the Premier League, staying in the Premier League. And I just thought we'd have more of the same. I thought Moyes was that. Actually, Moyes wanted to win that trophy last season. And so with that, I think he'll try and win this one this season.
We're heading into this, Gonzo, as firm favourites to make the group stage.
Yeah, sorry.
Does that sort of worry you a little bit? Because obviously the past few seasons, we've seen us get beat by Ashtagugu twice. Struggled against some teams that we were expected to beat and therefore not qualify for the Europa League. Or are you quite confident that we'll be okay across both legs?
Yeah, because Moyes won't. Our problem with those was arrogance. We strolled in, Moyes won't do that. Moyes, if anything, Moyes will go cautious on this. So Moyes will make it hard for those teams to score a goal. And you should, rather than rampaging forward saying this is, what it's like when you play some of these teams. This is a professional football club, don't get me wrong. But back in the days when you would play a part-time football team and, there'd be bakers and plumbers and all the rest of it in their football team. I think there was a certain amount of arrogance with us before. I think the way we'd sort of marched, we'd had a really good season at Upton Park in the last season. I think the way we'd marched into the London Stadium, Olympic Stadium, whatever you want to call it. I think there was an arrogance and a bit of a swagger about us. I think with this one, David Moyes probably won't be saying there's one that wears a Barcelona shirt and there's one that's got a name a bit like a hamburger. He won't be saying, no, watch out for him, he's tasty. Probably won't do that joke. He'll probably know who they are, what positions they play in. He's probably got a dossier. And I would imagine we'll probably show him far more respect than we need to. And as a result, we'll win the games and we'll get through in the group.
I agree with you in regards to attitude. What worries me is team availability. It's not even team selection. It's players available to select from, if anything. Anyway, let's crack on with that then. Let's do the West Ham team news because it is big and it is juicy, just like that burger that plays for the Danish side. But before we do that, this video is sponsored by Spitch. You've heard myself and Gonzo banging on about it for the last week. Well, there's still plenty of time for you to join up ahead of this weekend's Premier League fixtures. The prize pot at the minute for the free game is £500. It's a free to download app. Link is in the description below. It's free to sign up. Then when you're there, if you go to the lobby on the very bottom left tab, click on Classic. There you go. You can enter for free into the Premier League game. You select your team for that game week. The top winner will scoop the prize, which is over £500. Then it resets for next week. So you don't have to worry about transfers. No. You get a whole different 11. You don't want to have to worry about your bench. There's none of that picking going on. You just pick your 11. Budget, don't worry about it. Spitch lets you go over budget. 2-3 players from each club. Don't worry about that. You can have 9 players from each club. Spitch are changing the rules when it comes to Fantasy League. You can get involved by joining up using the link and description. Also, when you've done all that bit, Communities tab, click on that in the search bar, put in Hammers Chat. It's quite obvious where we are. We've got the Hammers Chat logo there. We click on it. You'll see myself in a Scotland shirt and Gonzo in an England shirt as well. You can join up and get involved. Gonzo beat me this week. Last week, sorry. Not very happy about it. I'm out for revenge this week. But in the Brighton preview, I'll show you my lineup. Gonzo will show you his as well. But get involved ahead of the weekend. Thank you to Spitch for continuing to sponsor Hammers Chat. Right, Gonzo. Do you want some team news first of all, and then do you want to see the players available to select from?
Yeah, do it, mate. I've got my team. Let's see how many of them are going to be available.
Well, let me ask you a question about your team. Who's left back?
Longelo.
Oh, you remembered, did you?
Of course I remember. I am prepared, my friend.
Are you playing a back four, by the way? Are you playing a back four?
Yeah.
Well, Gonzo has not fallen from a little trick. That Aaron Creswell is suspended for this game due to his red card against Frankfurt. David Moyes is also suspended for this game due to kicking a ball. Ball person against Frankfurt.
That I had forgotten. I will admit to that.
And Declan Rice is suspended for this game. And next week, Declan Rice will play no part in this tie either leg. He's suspended for 2 games. After asking the referee if he was paid.
I had forgotten that as well.
That's what happens. You got 2-game ban for asking the referee if he was paid off after that Frankfurt performance. So we're without Creswell, Rice, and David Moyes will not be in the dugout on Thursday night. It's unlikely that we will see Ogbonna or Dawson either. There's sort of club are being a bit secretive regarding their fitness. Ogbonna was missing from the under-21 game on Friday and from the West Ham squad on Sunday. So where he's gone, we do not know. And Dawson has obviously got an injury as well. So the squad's getting thinner, Gonzo. But I've got a little prepared for this one. So West Ham United, I'm going to have to sort of explain the squad registration. Are you listening carefully? So West Ham have two lists. List A, I'll show you in a minute, and List B. On List A, any player that is currently basically 21 years or over, any player born on the 1st of January, the 31st of December 2000 and before must be registered. Anyone born on 1st January 2001 or later don't have to be registered. We'll get on to that. So they have to be registered. The squad has already been registered. It needed to be in by Friday night. That's already done. However, West Ham can add 2 additional players before 11 p.m. tomorrow night, Wednesday night, 11 p.m. UK time. West Ham can add 2 additional players. So should West Ham sign Thilo Kehrer or a other player today or tomorrow, they can register him. They can add him to that squad list and he will be able to feature on Thursday. However, there is no amendments after that time. So what is registered with UEFA at 11 p.m. on Wednesday, that is what you've got for both ties. So if you sign any players between the games, you cannot make any adjustments. That is your squad that you have to run with over both ties. I'm going to show you the squad now, then I'm going to explain to you List B. So West Ham's List A, we've got 4 goalkeepers. We've got Fabianski, Trott, Areola, and Randall to select from. In defence, we've also got Creswell, Longello, Sufal, Johnson, Zuma, Ogbonna, and Craig Dawson. Obviously, no Naif Aguerd. There's no point registering him as he is out till the World Cup. And the interesting thing, Ben Johnson on the UEFA website is registered as a forward. He was registered as a forward last year as well. I don't know why. He just was. Now, moving into midfield, we've got Flynn Downs, Connor Coventry. Declan Rice is registered, although he cannot play in either fixture. Thomas Souček, Pablo Fornals, and Manuel Lanzini. And then the forwards for West Ham United in List A, we have got Saïd Benrahma, Maxwell Cornet, Jared Bowen, Armstrong Okoflex, take a note of that name, important, Gianluca Scamacca, and Michail Antonio. Now, the importance of Okoflex here and Longello in the first one is that neither of them meet the conditions of List B. For List B, you have to be born on the 1st of January 2001 or later, but also have been at the club for 2 years uninterrupted or 3 years with a 1-year loan spell in there. So that usually rules out Armstrong Okoflex, hence why we've had to register him. That also rules out the likes of Ekwa. It will also rule out the new signing Callum Marshall, who's been on fire for the younger teams so far, so they cannot participate. However, other players can. The ones that you've seen can play, but also the likes of Harrison Ashby, Jamal Baptiste, Dan Chesters, they can all play in the games as well. A bit confusing, Gonzo, but hopefully it sort of makes sense.
It does, but you do wonder who sits down and makes this stuff up, particularly that fine detail stuff. There's somebody somewhere, and UEFA are saying to them, look, we're going to have to let you go. No, hold on a second. Let me try and justify my job. I'm going to make some really tenuous rules here. What we need is an A and a B list to submit for the squad. It's lovely, isn't it?
The B list can be changed for every match day. The same with the group stages. But so for tomorrow, Thursday's game, we've got the players that you've just seen, plus most of the youngsters. There's only a few that can't play. Now, Gonzo, can I get your goalkeeper, please?
Areola, please.
Has to be, doesn't it? It's got to be.
Of course it does. Yeah. back to last season for Areola. I mean, he was so good, Fabianski, wasn't he, against Forest? So Areola probably can't have any complaints about that at all. But I'm sure he'll grab the first team shirt for the league games at some point this season.
Now, interestingly, you want to go with a back four. So who you got?
Ashby, right fullback, and Zuma, Johnson, Longello.
Sort of half picks itself, really, doesn't it? There's no other left back.
Honestly, if you've got to play him, you've got to play him there. He deserves a chance as well. This is let's be fair. This is not the best team in Europe, even though one of them's got a shirt. Probably makes him think that he's one of the best players in Europe. I just look at the team there. That that's good enough team, particularly with the two centre-backs there. If we'd have had somebody else that could play in there, fine, but we don't. Those are the centre-backs. I wouldn't be trying to rush the lad from PSG in if we sign him, but I would. You just say to him, like, let's get you ready for Brighton. You're going to have to mark Danny Welbeck.
But that's the same back four as me, really. There's literally no options. Vladimir Coufal's the only sort of defender we're leaving out here, and it's just so that Ashby can get in and have a game there. And to be fair, Coufal hasn't been great against Nottingham Forest or Manchester City either. So, I completely agree. Your back four. My midfield pairing is Flynn Downs and Thomas Souček. I think it's an important game. We need to see Downs at some point. Also, Declan Rice being suspended. You know, it's bad that we don't have Rice. It's disappointing we don't, but it does hand Downs an excellent opportunity here to come in, hopefully impress. And I think it's probably a comfortable enough game to put him in at as well. We're not throwing him in the deep end at home to Manchester City on match day one. There you go, Flynn. Deal with that. That's okay. So let's just. It's an opponent he should be better than on his one-on-one opponent. So that's what I've gone for. Downs and Souček. What are you saying?
Well, I forgot about Rice. So I had Downs and Rice, but I will change it to Downs and Souček now. So I'd forgotten about him insulting the referee in the tunnel. I'm glad you reminded me. That's for some reason it sort of cheered me up.
I know no Connor commentary for either of us, though. I just think it would be too similar to Downs. I think Connor commentary
is untested midfield there. You know, I think you get away with the two lads at fullback. I think in the heart of the team, I think if you can have something like that. If you could have Zuma, Johnson, then Downs, and then Souček, that has more of a sturdy feel about it.
I've got a funny feeling our sort of front four are going to be they might be the same.
I'll be surprised if you've got the same person on the right as me, but yeah.
Oh, who you got?
Fornals.
Okay, yeah, on the right I've got Jared Bowen. I think it's important for Bowen. I think he's looked rubbish in the first two games so far. Yes. He's been our worst player so far in the two Premier League games. Jared Bowen has been our worst player. Let's get him in this game. Hopefully see him on the score sheet. And I think it's important almost just to not a confidence boost, because I don't think he's lacking confidence. It's not that, but it's just to get his rhythm going again. Hopefully he has a good performance under his belt and he sort of doesn't have to worry about the two poor performances. Going into Brighton without any minutes in this game, I think it's a bit risky, actually. We need almost like... do you know what I mean? We need a rejuvenated Jared Bowen going into that fixture. We've been without our most influential attacker in the last two games. He's been on the pitch, but he hasn't done anything.
No.
So I'd like him in for this one. So you've got Fornals, though. So,
well, he's been our second worst player over the past two games. But I feel if I'm playing Ashby there, I'd like him to protect Ashby. Ashby's a really good attacking player. Ashby will keep running past him all day long. So I think we'll get an attacking outlet from there. Ashby is, I would probably say, one of the best crossers we got in the squad. And with the guy I'm going to play up front, I want the crossing technique to be there. So actually, I'm going to think that Fornals will probably drop straight back there. I understand your reasoning for picking Bowen, but it's also my reason for not picking him. Not so much rest, but you know what? But sort of have a rest. You know, whatever you need to do, go and whatever.
You don't need a rest. It's the third game of the season.
I know. I don't mean because he's knackered. That's not what I'm saying. But whatever it is, go and sort it out. All right, and then come back mentally sharp and ready. And so that's for my reason to give him. And also, as I say, basically, Fornals often plays to protect Cresswell. Today, and also, we'll say today, Thursday, he's going to be there to protect Ashby. Also, I don't want him to play against Brighton. So there you go. You can have your game now, Pablo, because you won't be playing against Brighton.
All right. Well, let's go to your left-hand side. What are you saying?
Maxwell Cornet is starting for that one. For the same reason. Look, he needs a game. We need to give him a game, and Ben Rama has to start against Brighton. So. So yeah, get Cornet in there and let's get him running at him. But bit of pace, bit of attacking intent from the left, and on the left as well. So once again, he can put crosses over for the fella that I'm going to play up front. You can tell who it's going to be.
Who's in the number 10 role for you?
Lanzini.
Okay, I get that. Do you know what I've gone for? I've gone for Ben Rama on the left and Cornet in the middle of them. The reason being, I want to smash this team. I say smash. I sound incredibly disrespectful, but I want this tie over with when the final whistle goes at London Stadium, I want to feel like we're already pretty much through. I'm looking for 2-3 nil wins here.
Okay.
And the best way to do that is by having goals in the front half of your team. Ben Rama, if I said to you, who's the most likeliest goal scorer creator for West Ham in our next game, your answer would probably be Ben Rama, going by what we've just seen at Nottingham Forest.
Sure.
That would be mine. That's why I'd have him in. I'd like to think you'd be able to sub him off during the game, but I would start with Ben Rama on the left. It's his shirt. I'd be saying to side, look, you were fantastic against Forest. This is your shirt. You're on the left here. That's your position. Go out there. You're up against, what's his name, that Sports Barcelona. Rip him to shreds. Get past him, cut inside, go down the outside, get them crosses in for the big man up front. I mean, then Cornet in the 10, because I think he needs to play this one. And it's just sort of, I'm just sort of putting Ben Rama and Bowen in their positions. And that's the one that's vacant for Maxwell Cornet. But it's also more of a trial for the Brighton game, actually, because if this front four works, this is the front four I'd probably go with against Brighton as well. So your striker, please. I think we all know who it is, but just put us out of our misery.
Dan Chester's. I mean, he's just got to... I'm going to go Gianluca Scamacca. And I do like saying the full name with this one. It's a good
You
name.
have to. You have to do that for some players. A couple of people commented on our video not long ago saying, why do you always say Flynn Downs? You never just say Downs. It's always Flynn Downs, Flynn Downs. It's never just Downs.
No,
so
you can have a short name. Yeah.
I've started overthinking it now, and I'm almost trying to refuse to say the name Flynn. I'm like, Downs and Suchek. But there's just some players like that. Reece James is the number one player for that in the Premier League. You never say James, do you?
No, because it's a first name. You know what I mean? It's like the
Harvey Barnes. You never just say Barnes. It's always Harvey Barnes.
It started for me with Gabriel Batistuta. I mean, you're just not doing that name justice if you just go Batistuta. It's got to be Gabriel Batistuta.
So Gianluca Scamacca is the other name you must say.
Oh, Gianluca Scamacca. I just wish, and it is Scamacca, I sort of wish it was Scamacca. Gianluca Scamacca! I don't know, it just sounds better, but we'll go with Scamacca because that's his name.
Anyway, he picks himself up front. I think I agree. It's important to get him in for this game. Give Antonio a bit of a breather as well. Get Scamacca in, hopefully get him on the goals, and then cause a little bit of a dilemma for Moyes for the Brighton game, which is, well, what striker are you going to go with? Because at the minute, I think Moyes is probably 50-50 as to which striker he starts against Brighton. And putting Scamacca in here, if he plays well, looks good, gets a goal, he probably edges ahead of Antonio. But saying that, if he's not very good or he stinks to play us out, then Antonio will keep the shirt for against Brighton. So I think Scamacca has to start for us in this game. Just to throw you a curveball, if Thilo Kehrer signs prior to 11 p.m. tomorrow, Wednesday night, so he's eligible for the game, would you like to see him put in? Or would you like to see him sort of kept back on the bench or something?
I wouldn't mind. I don't have a strong opinion of it. I personally would save him for the Brighton game. But I mean, it depends how desperate Moyes is feeling that we are. As I mentioned before, you know, Johnson has been involved in all the goals in the Premier League this season. The goal scored against us, sorry. I mean, he's been assisting Antonio.
Well, we haven't scored any, so I think it's obviously
Yeah, absolutely. That being said, he may well look at that. Look, Moyes does not fancy Longelo. He doesn't. Otherwise, he would have included him before now. There's been games we had no left backs, and when he's played well against Zagreb, whoever it was last season, and he still didn't play him. So if there is an opportunity for Moyes to think, actually, I'll play the new centre back, then I can play Johnson at left back, then he may well do so. I don't have a strong opinion on it. I think either works. I think, you know, Zuma and Johnson will continue to get better. Don't be wrong. I don't want him to play there anymore. But with each game, he'll get better. Let's be fair. He conceded 2 goals in the first game, 1 goal in the last one. So I would expect Johnson to keep a clean sheet in this one.
Yeah, I would probably play him from the start, actually, next to Zuma.
What, the new boy?
Yeah, because we've got no time on the training pitch, have we? He comes in on Wednesday, we've got a game on Thursday, then we've got a recovery day, maybe a light session on Saturday, we've got a game on Sunday. There's no time on the training pitch. This is possibly the only time to get him next to Kurt Zuma and say, you two are a partnership against Brighton. Learn, speak to each other. The good thing is Kehrer will be French speaking, starting next to Kurt Zuma with a French goalkeeper behind him. So language itself won't be an issue per se.
So the instruction is you two speak to each other, but do it in French.
Yes, just do that.
Nice.
Don't worry about Ashby. He speaks a different language altogether.
Yeah, of course he does. Yeah. But hold on, he's a Scotsman from Kent. He's a Scottish Englishman. So then you've got a German plying his trade in France. Then you've got a Frenchman who's speaking English. What could possibly go wrong?
But later on in the game, I'd probably sub Zuma off for Johnson if everything was going well, just because Zuma's just not fit. He's one last-ditch tackle away from really being injured. His knee looks like it's being stuck together with Hubba Bubba at the minute. We've not even got super glue past that stage. I worry every time Zuma does that sliding block for a shot he does. They hurt. Anyone that plays football knows if that hits you at the wrong angle, you're the wrong angle. That hurts. He gets up and he's proper limping. I think, oh, no. So I'd almost want him to start with Kerr, but not play the full 90 so that we can just rest him a little bit for the Brighton game. Are you confident? I mean, when we're doing these teams, Gonzo, there's a severe lack of options. Yeah. He'd probably like to rotate a little bit more than we are, but there's not really anybody that we can bring in. Are you confident for this one?
Yeah, he loves it. Moyes, he thrives at this stuff. No players, no problem. That's what Moyes. I've never heard him say that, but I get the feeling that that's it. He loves all that. It all comes down to the system then, and he loves his system so much he doesn't like changing it. And he'll get them well drilled. And I am confident for this game. It has to be said, but we don't know. We know nothing about the opposition. And so little. In fact, so who do we? Genk or Ghent? Whichever one. Genk last season, or was it Ghent?
Genk with a K,
right?
Weren't it? It was, weren't it?
Genk, whoever, right? But when we faced them, oh my word, they're fast, right? Their counter-attack was really fast. So actually, we did the thing, and we don't know much about them. But sometimes it doesn't really, this might be a really, really quick team, and if they do, they cause you problems, because Ghent will cause us problems last season.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's the fear of the unknown, isn't it? And as we West Ham fans, not David Moyes' opposition analysis scout, and we're not sat in Moyes' meeting saying, well, tell me about them, please, son. Well, I don't know, Dave. Not really look, to be honest with you. Don't know what they're going to do. You should win, though.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why we're not the scouts, yeah.
So there is a fear of the unknown, but regardless, I expect the club to have done their homework on them, and if they are quick, what are you laughing at? You not expecting?
No, I just that phrase that you just said. Then carry on.
I do expect the club to have done their homework to know exactly what they're all about, who their best couple of players are. If there's goals coming, who's it most likely to come from? I mean, I had a look, and they've got 2 players on 2 goals in the league. So I went to their last game to see where they played, and I couldn't see one of them. Beck, his name was, with a CH at the end. So I was like, where is he? So then I went on their squad list. I'm scrolling. I'm like, where's he gone? So I Googled him. He's now playing in the 3rd division in Germany.
Okay, which is I'm actually looking for him on the screen now, and I can find no Beck.
Yeah, he scored 2 goals in the leagues thus far, but he's disappeared off to Germany. So I was like, oh, okay. So I gave up. That was as far as my opposition analysis went on them. Hopefully the West Ham scouts got a little bit more detail.
Well, I can tell you now. Here's Mortimer. Told you. See?
They could at least get an HD picture or something.
I told you. That's why I think it's one of those dodgy shirts. He's a ringer. There's no way Mortimer played for Barcelona. I tell you. Do you know what I mean? It's a bit like I don't know. Choose your player. Choose your player at a crap team, and he sort of puts on a Real Madrid shirt when they go around to take the pictures. Danny Welbeck. Actually, he did play for Man United and Arsenal. Actually, done all right, Welbeck. Actually, I shouldn't mock him. Edit that out. I've not mocked Welbeck because he's going to kill us.
Keeping that in. Anyway, can I get any final words from yourself as well as a score prediction?
I'm looking forward to it, and we need it. Beware if you go. I believe it's a train strike, so just if you are intended on going up to the game, please factor that into your travel arrangements. We need it. The club need it. Before Brighton, if we can sign a player and win the European tie, it lifts everybody. The game, but if we can do what you suggest, which is get 3 or 4 goals from Gianluca Scamacca and Flynn Downs, then we should hopefully just lift the mood of everybody, really. Did you ask for a prediction? You did, didn't you? I'll give you one then.
Please.
3-0.
Yeah, I'm confident. At the end of the day, we take this competition seriously. Moyesfield's a strong team. The players turn up and they all have the correct attitude. We win on Thursday, regardless of if you know enough about that team or not. It's kind of irrelevant, really. It's like Manchester City could play 99% of teams in the world, and I would expect Manchester City to win just because they are better. I don't need to know the other team to know the Man City are better than them. And I have a little bit of like that with West Ham, and it might be arrogance or whatever, but I don't think it is. We've played a team that's currently, I think this is their first European jaunt since 2000, so 22 years since they win any form of European competition. They're 5th in their league. There's only 12 teams in the league still, so they're sort of what are you laughing at now?
Just from my fight reminds me of a race. I shouldn't say who. One of my children was in on the school sports day, and I said, "How'd you do?" And she said, "I came 4th." I said, "Well done." I said, "How many people in the race?" She said 4. But still, well done. Obviously, still well done.
Came 4th. Not lying, are they? Not lying, are they?
Not at all. Not at all. So yeah, it's just when you said there's 12 people. There's 12 teams in the league.
Context. You need context a lot. It's the same with statistics. Sometimes you do need context for statistics. I remember somebody said about a player we were linked with, he puts in X crosses into the box. I was like, okay. Was that good? What's the average? How much does Creswell do for comparison?
But he's got no assists.
Yeah, I've got no context to that figure whatsoever. I don't know what it means. You know, it's like if somebody was to go to the shop and buy something and go, I got this. It's X pounds, but all right, but what is it usually? What's the other brands charging at? Is it the same price on its own? It doesn't really matter. So anyway, we've gone massively off tangent. Yeah. I expect to win. I expect to win comfortably. I want to win comfortably, so much so that when we do our preview next week for this game, we don't have to talk about playing 1 or 2 of these players. We can maybe field a slightly more rotated team. But I want to see us, when the lineup comes out Thursday, I want to see a strong West Ham team there. One that says, wow, we're taking this seriously. It doesn't have to be our first 11. Neither of us two want to see our first 11. Well, it can't be with Declan Rice suspended, but it doesn't have to be the strongest one. Just strong enough to comfortably get this job done. This is a big game for us, I think, because I tell you what, if we don't win, the morale of the fan base will drop significantly if we fail to win on Thursday night going into that Brighton game. Because we could, this time next week, we could be bottom of the league, no points after 3 games, and struggling to qualify for the Europa Conference League group stages.
Stop talking. Sorry,
I think we'll be fine.
I say stop talking. A team we know nothing about. We've done 38 minutes. I'll tell you, we got some verbal diarrhea. Us two. We talk too much.
That's because you stuck up a Barcelona player, and I did a dodgy start. So the first 2 minutes needs to be chopped off because of I did the nether.
We need to cut out the Welbeck comment and the other one.
Right, 3-0. I'm agreeing with Gonzo on this one. West Ham 3. Viborg 0 is my prediction. Anyway, we'll be live on Thursday night. If you're not going to the game, please do join us. We'll be live at 6:40 right here on Ham Chat YouTube channel with the team lineup, with a potential bet giveaway as well, interacting with the live chat too. Then we'll have to watch along. Then we'll be back with our review. Ham Chat, your one-stop shop for everything on the West Ham United match day. If you enjoyed this preview, some of you might have. Please drop a like on it, subscribe to the channel. Myself and Gonzo. Catch you in a bit.